Heyo, you're tuning into Toasted Time, where I cook your time with some Reddit stories. Right now, we've got Malicious Compliance, where a middle manager gets replaced. Our first story is by Competition Extreme. I own and manage a service provider, MSP, firm which provides cloud computing services to clients. Business is good enough to pay my employees a respectable wage while offering them a good work-life balance. I haven't had to lay off a single employee yet. And I hired a senior IT technician as a middle manager. Let's call him Harry. Harry seems to have gone off the rails about AI. He has started to micromanage our coworkers to an unacceptable extent, and he has kept on pestering me to investigate how I could use chatgpt and other AI technologies to reduce employee costs. And frankly, this rubbed me the wrong way. Harry doesn't have a stake in any of his coworkers losing their jobs, and his constant micromanaging has become an issue. And more so, I looked at ChatGPT, and there is simply no way it could replace any of my technical employees. ChatGPT has no agency, nor can deal with clients, nor can it see the computer screen to troubleshoot jack crap. However, ChatGPT could easily replace a middle manager, assuming someone else takes on additional responsibility daily. You see, ChatGPT has a code interpreter mode, which can do calculations and process spreadsheets. This can decimate the workload of a middle manager, at least in our firm, allowing the responsibilities to be absorbed by another senior employee, me in this case. And I kept this in mind and have been shadowing Harry's job for the past few months. A good employee retired last week, and I approached Harry and told him that I took his suggestion to heart, and I've decided to automate his role with AI. I told him he could accept his redundancy package or be retained in Azure. He chose to be retained in Azure. Unfortunately for Harry, he'll lose the comfy privileges being a middle manager entails. Fortunately for our coworkers, they will now have an impartial AI making decisions. Fortunately for me, I won't have to pay for a redundant role. Hey, let me know down in the comments, what do you think Harry's plan here was? Like, why was he so insistent on trying to, get rid of his fellow coworkers? What was the purpose of that? Does anybody have any, theories or ideas as to why? Maybe he'd wanted to get rid of a specific employee or something? Because I am at a loss for ideas. I have no idea why Harry would vouch so much for AI to take over his underlings for work. It's not like he's paying them or anything, so why does it matter? It's so weird to me. Anywho, continuing on. And now the next story comes from Downtown Diamond. About 14 years ago, I was working IT for a large medical center, one of several owned by the same people. The regional CIO personally put me in charge of setting up and issuing laptops to doctors and other medical staff to go to patients' homes when they could no longer come to the hospital for any number of reasons, including disability, lack of adequate transportation, etc. When we got a new shop supervisor, who was only promoted to that position exactly 1 year to the day after being hired from the outside, something that left myself and a lot of other IT techs very upset, he made it abundantly clear that he was going to make several people's lives miserable, including me. He had looked at my Outlook calendar. We all had to share access to our calendars with him to see when I had someone scheduled to pick up a laptop up, do their 3 months after check, etc. Then, a few minutes before the person was supposed to arrive, he would order me to do some menial project halfway across the hospital that he could have just as easily done himself or delegated to one of the new people. If I tried to tell him that I had an appointment, he threatened to write me up for insubordination. Cue malicious compliance. One day, the regional CIO was due for his 3-month update. Right on cue, the shop supervisor tasked me with unboxing then installing monitors on the first floor. About 15 minutes later, when the regional CIO arrived, he called to ask that I return to the office. I headed back up right away. The shop supervisor didn't know and never met the regional CIO, so the shop supervisor had no clue who he was dealing with. When I arrived, the CIO asked the shop supervisor to leave the room. He asked me what was going on, since I was always punctual and thorough to a fault. I told him about the shop supervisor making several of the lives of anyone he disliked miserable, reassigning trouble tickets in multiple random floors at the last second, just as they had projects scheduled, or in my case, as I had appointments close to arriving for the laptops. The CIO even asked why the shop supervisor always seems to be out of the office most of the times the director came up and could never get him on the phone. I just told him the truth. He's been way too much busy chasing skirts and shooting the breeze with his friends, sir. When the CIO asked if the shop supervisor had a girlfriend on the side, my response was, which one? He has us too busy running around to count them. He told me to wait outside the office for a few minutes and brought the shop supervisor back in to have a come to Jesus moment with him. The shop supervisor was put on 90-day unpaid suspension and was written up for gross insubordination for talking back to him, among other things. The CIO even asked HR to start an investigation to see what other department regulations he violated. And then someone down below asks a very nice question, but what happened after the 90 days? After one of his side chicks threatened to sue him for actual harassment, he was pressured into leaving after a couple months. Beyond that, I don't know, since I moved south back in 2010. And then someone else quotes his have a come to Jesus moment with him and says, we called them donut meetings. You got a donut and a cup of coffee. Your job was to eat the donut, drink your coffee, not say a word until I was done. Then you put your trash in the can, said, I understand, and leave. They were very spiritual for some people. You know, guys, I am, in all terms of purpose on planet Earth, I'm a young gun. You know, I'm not new to the world. I wasn't born yesterday, but I'm not also old, and I don't have a crap ton of experience and all that. Can someone please tell me, what is the purpose of being just miserable? Why? What was the purpose of the shop supervisor making OP do all these random tasks for no reason? What was the purpose? Just to be an a-hole? Like, why? I don't get it. Wouldn't you want your employee to be more productive? Like, why are you having him running around with his chicken, like a chicken with his head chopped off, just doing random tasks that have nothing to do with clients? Why? What is the purpose? Just to make it seem like you're the boss? Like, oh my goodness, get your head out of your own A. Like, you are not that important. Oh my goodness. I don't understand people who are a-holes for the sake of being a-holes. Like, you do not matter that much. Why do you think you do? I hate the mentality. I hate the reasoning. I don't get it. Can someone please tell me, why are some people just a-holes for the sake of being a-holes? I do not get it. Anywho's, continuing on. Now, before we continue on, I just want to ask that if you are enjoying this so far, that you consider recommending this channel to friends and family, or just people you know, cause the help for this channel is greatly appreciated. So, to continue on, and now for the final story, which comes from Anomalous Floating Chi. I have a second to senior position in my department at work, so theoretically, I have my choice of station to go to when I come in as long as my senior doesn't want it. My senior coworker has a station she always goes to, and it is understood that she likes the third station and I like the seventh one. Our stations are even denoted by personal items and magnets. My station is preferred because I have a medical issue with overheating and the floor fans point at that location. My personal items at that station include a backup fan in case the big one just isn't enough. Now, this fan is way quieter than the big one. The new manager complains about the noise of the big one. I have poor hearing and it doesn't really bug me. Recently, the new manager has started stealing my station because the fan in it is quieter when everyone knows that I have a preference to that station. Whatever, it is the least awful thing she has done, so it doesn't matter much to me as long as I'm not there to need this station. Where she crosses the line is stealing my station right at the start of my shift. I ask her if I can have my station, since there is plenty of open stations. She says, No, you need to be able to work at any station. Knowing that I have an agreement with the office that I can always have the floor fan on if needed, I start to get some ideas in question. So I can have my personal fan for my things first, right? And she ever so quickly gives me that awful manager who thinks they're God face. No. Go to your station right now and start typing or I'll write you up for not starting on time. And so I comply like the peaceful worker drone I am and click on the big fan while going to the station right next to her. At this point, I'm already sweating, but I'm close enough to the fan that I won't pass out. Just then, she clicks the fan off, and I sluggishly click it back on. It goes off and on for a whole hour, but at this point I'm seeing spots, so I give her the heads up. The office says the fan stays on if I need it on. She goes to click it right back off. I don't care. This thing is too loud. I'm almost office staff anyways, and things will change around here soon. And within the next 2 hours, I'm unresponsive due to heat sickness. And at this point, I have been magically placed into a medical unit for a few hours. I don't know how I got here or who called, but my girlfriend brought my things from work, but all she got out from the managers was that I'm dismissed for a few days. All I know right now is that the new manager has a paradigm report to worry about, and I hopefully get my spot for now on. Dear Lord. OP just said, fine. Wait, hold on. This is like the whole entire, this is like the childish thing of like, holding your breath until you get what you want. This is that whole entire thing is like, fine, you don't want to give me my fan? I guess I'll just pass away then. Like, bro had no regards for the fact that he might legitimately never wake up from this moment. Anywho, going on to the comments, because there are some prime comments down below. Mate, your manager just incompetenced and harassed you into heat stroke. Get a lawyer, demand your ADA accommodations, assuming America, enjoy your payday, start with a demand letter when you get back. Since this is their fault, they also owe you for your time out. This is paid leave at their expense. It's also a workers' comp claim if in the US. Fill out that paperwork now. OP will probably be able to retire with the settlement if in the US. Needs to hire a labor and employment attorney ASAP. No they won't. At best they'll get a few thousand in punitive damages and medical expenses covered. Nah. I've seen US medical bills. If they get paid out half of their bill in cash, they could pay off most of the US national debt. And yeah, to finish this off, I could not agree more. OP, lawyer up. You about to get paid. Money, money, money. Anyways. Well, that is about it for those stories today. But if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe to become a fellow bread bag. But aside from that, I post 2 new videos every day, so I hope to see you next time toasting session. But until then, have a good one.